beautiful song, isn't it? I'm going to go, if I ever go down the aisle, it won't be to Here Comes the Bride. The organist played something totally different. The bride nearly cried, and then she heard her husband start singing. It was their favourite song, the Luther Vandross song, So Amazing. And he'd been having private singing lessons secretly so he could make it a very special day. Isn't that romantic? And incidentally, it's a very beautiful love song, Love Solitaire. That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. Boys, any of you getting married? Girls, I guess you could always burst into song coming down the aisle, couldn't you? Doing your one step at a time, singing your little heart out. Is that what? It's one step and close, one step and close. Well, I think it was probably because their dresses were very tight or something back in the day. And they actually hold bouquets, don't they, when they got married? Because they only bathed monthly, so they stunk. So it would cover up the smell. That's why brides hold bouquets. They were very smelly and dirty back in the Middle Ages. No excuses now for being smelly and dirty. No. I'm a big fan of deodorant, a big fan. Down to the last 10 seconds, especially whilst travelling on the tube. It's just not fair to not, all right? Breath freshener as well, if you got a little bit of the old smelly. That's it, table's closed. Having a conversation yesterday about tongue scraping. It's all new to me. Best of luck. Going for a spin. New dealer after this. Good luck. Ooh, it's number 19. 19's a red number. 19's an odd number. It's very odd, isn't it, as far as numbers go? You'll find it in your high numbers just. You'll also find it there in your second dozen, in your first column, and 19's in the voisin section of your wheel. There you go, number 19. You can see the voisin highlighted. Winners, let's have a sneaky peek at you then, shall we? Well done, Toulouse. Some of you down the bottom. Congratulations to Bowler, to winning a chip, and Brian. Well done as well, David. And now, if you need a cup of tea, run, put the kettle on now. Now's the best time. Go, 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 go. Well done to Ollie Aluru, Rita Babsu. Is that right? Maybe. Well done to Big Lad Chaz as well. Cartel, Trouble, Red Kish, Dracula, and Pat Mick. I thought it would be really cool to go and stay in Dracula's castle for Christmas. Because there'd be snow, there'd be wolves, there'd be scary stuff. Virgin One viewers, we are leaving you now. So if you can't switch over to channel 847 or go to www.liveroulette.com, do join us tomorrow and have a really safe, sound, sleepy, warm sleep. But if you've got Virgin Media, you can actually catch us on channel 139 right now. So those are your options. Everybody else stay exactly where you are. Grab cups of tea. We'll see you in 2 shakes of a kitten's tail.
Welcome to How to Blow a Billion, the show that gives you the chance to shake off the shackles of your paltry, low-life existence and live for one day as the icon of your dreams. Money's no object and good taste is optional, because if you worship dough, then this is your show. So buckle in, belt up with wad in hand, as we attempt to blow a billion for one ultimate day as royalty. Coming up in tonight's Right Royal Rave Up, there's guns that'll blow a hole in your wallet, a toilet that'll leave you feeling anything but flush, Food that costs a flipping fortune, castles fit for a king, and pricey, pesty artwork. All coming to you with the billionaire seal of approval. But first, let's kit out your highnesses with a set of wheels. And they don't come any better than the Queen's favourite motor. If you want a car fit for a king, well, it's just got to be a roller. And where's the best chances of finding such a beast? Hong Kong. The territory has the world's highest number of Rolls Royces per capita. It seems 99 years of British rule has ensured the roller's place as the king of Kong. And the Peninsula Hotel has got 14 of the beauties.
Peninsula has a reputation of being the best hotel in the world.
The Peninsula Hong Kong has always been linked with Rolls-Royce from the very beginning.
Rolls-Royce is certainly the best car in the world. Therefore, the two complement each other perfectly.
Rolls-Royce is really a sign of status in Hong Kong. We have 13 Rolls-Royce. Now we have one 1934 Phantom Rolls-Royce. There were only 2 built of its type in the world.
We also have 9 Rolls-Royce Silver Spur and 4 Rolls-Royce Silver Spur with low-pressure turbo.
It's a fleet fit for the Peninsula's many visiting Regals, and with each new roller still being built by hand, these babies don't come cheap. Even the famous Rolls-Royce grille is hand-polished for 5 hours before leaving the factory. But forget all that. What we really need to know is how much welly have they got?
The brake horsepower is sufficient. I'm not going to give the figures. Rolls-Royce never have given the figures.
Yeah, well, don't worry about that, stat fans, because we've done a bit of research. The Rolls-Royce Silver Spur is a 300 brake horsepower rocket with a top speed of 160 miles per hour, and the Phantom 2 is an 8-litre 6-cylinder head-turner, and for a pension-age silver lady, that's no mean feat.
There will be nobody who's disappointed.
So how much wedge for the whole bally lot? OK, well, we've worked it out. 13 Silver Spurs at 150 grand a pop. 1 Phantom 2 insured for a cool £300,000, making a grand total of £4,950,000. Well taken, big fella. Just one more question, though.
And now time for the ladies' question.
Do they come in pink?
I would certainly never dream of painting any Rolls-Royce pink.
Well, who would? In fact, the Chows would. Meet Kai Bong and Brenda Chow, voted by Tatler magazine as Hong Kong's most outstanding couple for the past 18 years straight. And when it comes to arriving in style, the word outstanding seems something of an understatement.
I think the love for Rolls-Royce runs in our family. Class is intangible. It takes a lot of breeding. What breathes in the bone comes out in the flesh.
The pink one is the Silver Shadow 3.
And the gold one is Phantom 6. The gold one is sprayed with gold dust, and the seats and everywhere inside is covered by real gold leather.
My chauffeur, when he drives the car, he always has to wear a pink uniform and also a pink hat to match. Well, some drivers, they do mind, but this one seems to be all right. He doesn't complain.
People were a bit taken aback. They were not used to this glamour, Hollywood touch, you see. Now they have accepted us. They like us very much. We have hearts of gold, I think.
And, of course, a roller of gold. But when it comes down to Rolls-Royces, it doesn't really matter what colour you choose, as long as you've got one.
But even if you own a Rolls-Royce, which is vintage, it still got its prestige, elegance, and, give you class.
Well, that sounds perfect to us blue-blooded billionaires. We'll take both of your motors, Kai Bong, at 80 grand apiece. Add that to the Peninsula fleet and we're off to a right royal start with a whacking great £5,110,000 spend. Still, at least we've now got class.
I think most people like to have class, don't they? You don't want to look like a country bumpkin.
Now, even us commoners know that to be truly regal, you're going to need more than a roller. You're going to need an estate. A castle, that is. And boy, do we have a castle for you. Chillingham Castle in Northumberland is 1,000 years old and home to the noble Wakefield family, relatives of its founders, the Earls of Grey.
The initial foundations of the castle started about 1,000 years ago. My father brought the castle back into the family in about 1980, and since then, over the last 20 years, it's slowly been restored. We're coming into the castle and we come down a wonderful drive, which is a massive vista of trees on either side, and we've got an Italian garden which is beautifully manicured and detailed hedges.
That's right, manicured hedges, and surprise, surprise, that's where the costs start to mount up. Chillingham Castle has a full-time staff of 14, so we're already looking at an annual staffing bill of $250,000. Then, of course, there's heating the place, which accounts for an additional 100 biggies per annus horribilis. However, just take one look at the Great Hall and you know it's worth every penny.
The Great Hall is a fantastic room with tapestries at one end and elephant armour on the wall and swords and armour and candles. It's very atmospheric. One's got to remember, of course, that my father has restored this castle since 1980, so what you're seeing here is not necessarily furniture and beds and pictures that have been here forever, but stuff that he's actually collected. And a perfect example of that is this wonderful loo that we're looking at here, which is the sort of Harley Davidson of the loo world, and I think anything, the one loo that one would like to sit upon and contemplate the world.
Spookily, a beautiful castle and grounds is not all one gets for one's money.
As well as it being a working castle, it's also very much a haunted castle. And in fact, it's meant to be the most haunted castle in England. We've had a number of sightings of ghosts, and in fact so many so that you would have to pay attention to them and accept that there are ghosts, and if that's what you're looking for, you will almost certainly find them here. I was sleeping in a bedroom at the top of one of the towers and heard footsteps coming up the stairs and walking through my room, which I wouldn't confess to now, except that I was on the telephone to someone at the time and they also heard it as well.
And if you're still sceptical about the existence of ghosts, maybe a trip to the torture chamber will change your mind.
We have recreated the chamber with some of the vile punishments that were actually used in days gone by.
Ghosts, dungeons, lavishly appointed rooms and grounds. It all sounds like a pile fit for a king. But what's it really like to live here?
Living in a castle is really the most fabulous thrill. It's a great honour to be part of something that's been here for 1,000 years and will continue for several thousand more. And whilst obviously we're on the move and won't be here forever, the castle will. So it's fantastic to just be a small part of that.
And if you want a small part of 1,000 years of history, well, you're not looking at small change. The value of Chillingham Castle is in the region of £6 million. We'll take it. Now let's decorate it the How to Blow a Billion way. With a passion for hunting and a penchant for Picasso, royals the world over share a tradition of hanging dead animals on the wall and collecting art. Fortunately, Dave Falconer can help you combine the two.
The sculptures are made from real rats and mice, which I get from pet shops. They're frozen for snake food, and defrost them, cast them, and then paint them.
This royal rodent masterpiece is called Vermin Death Star, and it's Dave's pièce de résistance.
The ideas behind it are to do with the idea that the rats and mice are kind of a sort of subterranean or invisible presence. It's kind of, I suppose, an analogy or a metaphor for the unconscious. You know, something which kind of proliferates endlessly and has to be kind of controlled by domesticity.
Eh?
I think of myself as producing modern art, really.
And so does legendary art fancier Charles Saatchi, who's already bought himself one of Dave's cuddly creations. But if you want one of your own, well, you're looking at an $8,000 layout.
It's quite flattering to think that people actually want your artwork in their house. And it's also a bit weird that they want dead mice and rats, but if that's what they want.
Well, it's what we want, fella, and the 8 biggies will have it for sure. So the champagne and canapes have been ordered and your art collection is well on the way to being the talk of the House of Windsor to the House of Horrors. But don't hang up that tiara yet, princesses, because this Imperial Pound Fest has only just begun. Coming up, we run up a huge bill with some expensive edibles. Get a bang out of blowing big bucks on a blunderbuss. And check out a golden throne fit for a king. All this and more as we show you how to blow $1 billion the royalty way. Welcome back, kings and queens. It's the interval of our Royal Command performance of how to blow $1 billion, and so far we've managed to splash out a stately £6 million on our castle, an enlightened £8,000 on a fledgling art collection, and a regal £5,110,000 on the ultimate fleet of rollers, making our half-time total a splendid £11,118,000 of Her Majesty's pounds sterling. Let's go withdraw some more as we raid the royal bank accounts. Whether it's for shooting pheasants or for shooting peasants, no Royal Roger is replete without his shotgun. And even if you're only squiring the Queen of Pop rather than the Queen herself, being double-barreled for the day will do our public profile no harm whatsoever. But like most things in this show, to play the part, you have to know where to shop. Purdy's have been purveyors of guns to our Germanic Uberlords ever since 1840. And they know exactly what goes into making a gun fit for a king.
First stage in building a gun is making the barrels. Our barrel makers spend in excess of 120 hours filing the barrels down on the outside, polishing the bores on the inside. The next stage is where the barrels, and they hook in here. This is a patent, and back in 1863, the Purdy double bolt comes into play, and the top lever, which joined it in 1870, on goes the fore end like that, then goes to the stocker, who does the woodwork. Now, this piece of wood, well, probably started life about 300 or 400 years ago, as a walnut tree in Turkey. And because we build guns on a bespoke basis, we have to measure our customers very carefully to ensure that the stock is built to their measurements. We offer the option of having special engraving. And this pair of 20-bore side-by-sides that I've got here shows some beautiful engraving where we've got game scenes and light scroll engraving. Engraving of this quality not only takes a great deal of time to do, but adds considerably to the cost of the gun. Finished bespoke gun, above all, it has to reach the customer looking absolutely perfect in every way. One which is capable of working reliably, and I'm not exaggerating, for the next 100 years.
So how much is one of your fine blunderbusses going to cost us, my good man?
The basic price is £46,500 plus VAT. Every engraving job has to be quoted separately, but prices will range from a minimum of £10,000 per gun up to £30,000 or £40,000 per gun.
Well, if you're going to spend cash like that on a shotgun, you're going to need accessories to match. Fortunately, Purdy's can fit you out like a right royal gent.
A leather fleece-lined gun slip, £300. A gun case may set you back as much as £5,000.
Well, take the lot. Lock, stock, barrel, sweater, wellies, carrying case and all. And the grand total, let's call it £96,000. Beautiful. Now let's go get some right royal scran. If you want a meal fit for a king, well, you've got to go for the most expensive dish in the world. And pound for pound, that's the deep-sea delicacy that is abalone. Hong Kong's Forum restaurant is the best in the business when it comes to this tricky little bottom dweller. And its 5-star Diamond Award-winning restaurateur, Mr. Yong Kon Yat, has become famous as the abalone king of the civilised world.
Abalone is one of the most difficult dishes to cook. That's why I am known as the king of abalone.
So what exactly is it, Mr. Yat?
Actually, abalone is a type of shellfish. It grows in the deep sea water. The abalone from Japan is famous because it is of the best quality. Texture is softer and more delicious. It's good for health and particularly good for liver and for eyes. Abalone actually is a very expensive seafood. They are very delicious. The texture of a good abalone is sticky. Abalone is regarded as a status symbol, a symbol of wealth. Wealthy people always eat abalone to represent their high social status.
Unfortunately, high social status costs big wonga, and this portion of abalone will set you back a gobsmacking $3.5 grand. So let's see how much of that the lovely Bee-Lin here can eat her way through in 20 seconds. Off you go, girl. Each of the pieces in front of her cost a staggering £292 a pop. She's off to a promising start. After 5 mouthfuls, she's already run up a £438 bill. That's the equivalent of a staggering 5,256 fish fingers. Go, Bee, go! And stop the clock. Excellent work, Bee-Lin. A grand total 876 quid. And for that, surely she'll get some chips on the side.
If you want to eat chips, you'll go to McDonald's. If you want to eat delicious food, you will eat abalone.
At 3.5k, we'll take a plateful. Meanwhile, back at Hong Kong's Peninsula Hotel, they're redefining the art of opulent entrees. Abalone might be the most pricey dish in town at £3,500, but when it comes to pure showing off, these gourmets know the real definition of golden delicious. But when their chefs talk about carrots, they ain't talking veggies. They're talking cuisine that gleams.
It's become very popular to order gold on food because it's full of minerals. People order it when celebrating or having parties. Many Japanese like to do that. I'm preparing shark fin soup with gold in it. It is mainly the Japanese who order the shark fin soup with gold. It is quite common to order gold food. In fact, I prepare it 2 or 3 times a night. The gold we use for eating is pure gold. The gold itself is actually tasteless, but adds to the presentation. It looks nice.
So how many sheets is this sparkly shark's fin going to set us back then?
The price depends on the size of the portion. It ranges from $150 to $300 per portion.
Bargain. But if we're feeling a bit skint, could you make us one in silver?
Only gold can be digested, whereas other metals can't. Silver is poison and therefore not good for eating, and it will make you very sick after you've eaten it.
OK, give us a year's worth of gold ones at a total cost of 73 grand. Now, got any ketchup, mate? So you've stuffed yourself silly on a majestic portion of man-eater. Now your highness is left with only one dilemma. Where does one go when one needs a number 2? Well, just down the road, in fact, to Hong Kong's 3D Gold, where they've got the ultimate 24-carat crapper. Time to drop the princes off at the pool.
You are standing in the most expensive washroom and toilets in the world, as recognized by the Guinness Book of World Records. We use 380 kilograms of 24-karat gold and 6,200 precious gemstones like pearl, ruby, and sapphires to build up this gold washroom.
Built in 2001, this world record Waking WC was originally valued at 38 million Hong Kong dollars. However, as the price of gold fluctuates, its value changes, and today it's worth a staggering 50.3 million Hong Kong dollars. That's approximately £4,205,455. But to be honest, why bother?
Our chairman, Mr. Lam, built this washroom for the people of the world to come and share the ultimate toilet experience.
Well, that can't be a bad thing. Now tell us, does it really work?
The toilet is fully functional, like the toilet bowl, the dustbin, the mirror, the lamp, and the ceiling. Everything is made of 24-karat real gold.
Although the people of Hong Kong are free to come and use this diamond-encrusted dunny, they consider it a work of art and have become reluctant to soil it. They don't know what they're missing out on.
It might cost a lot, but the experience of using this gold toilet is worth every cent.
Not off.
So why spend a penny when you can spend £4.5 million?
Well, we're feeling flush, so consider it soiled. So, billionaires, it's time to add up the cost of our right royal day out. It's been a real trooping of the colour of money today because on top of the sensational sum of £11,118,000 that we managed to spend in part one, we've gone and blown a further £96,000 on a shotgun and assorted shooting apparel. A tasty £3,500 on abalone, a nutritious $73,000 on a shed load of gold-plated shark's fin. And for afters, a gut-wrenching $4,205,455 biggies on a golden cracker, making our grand total the princely sum of £15,495,955. That's enough money to buy 23,481 pedigree corgis, which could then be chopped and sliced into 200,000 gold-plated meat forties. Now that's a majestic performance. But before we send you back to your meaningless everyday existence, it's time to grab a little something for your own special royal consort back home. When your little princess is moping around the palace, why not cheer her up with this 14-karat golden jewel-encrusted yo-yo? Not very entertaining, you may say, but at a staggering $35,000, you can guarantee she won't take her pampered little mitts off it for a second. Yo-yo goes up, yo-yo goes down. Yo-yo goes up, yo-yo goes down. She'll be gone for weeks.
Yes. Love you.
I love you.
Hello.
Morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning, Cecil.
Top of the morning to you.
Oh, thank you. Goodbye, darling.
Goodbye, Charles. What time can I expect you?
Before supper.